the 2018 British Truck Racing Association Championship with Truck and Driver.
Hello and welcome to the mega event, which is the Convoy in the Park. The park is Donington Park. It's the 5th event of the 2018 British Truck Racing Association Championship with Truck and Driver. Some of the best news is that the Mac is back. Paddy, wonderful to see you back on track. What have you been up to?
Hexagon Leasing, they've really helped us out to get the truck sorted out, so we're going to finish the rest of the season off as well.
Good to see, but I gather some problems.
Yeah, went out in qualifying, some problems with the truck in qualifying, so down on pace, still working on it now. Obviously a bit tight for the first race, we'll see how we get on. Hopefully, obviously I'm going to get myself ready and get in the truck, but hopefully we'll get out there, we'll see.
As well as your bright smile, you've got a very bright outfit and truck now. Tell us a bit about the new livery.
The Techstar are brakes for trucks and cars. The cab is a DAF now and she runs lovely. I have brakes this year, as they do stop the truck very well.
Qualifying saw both of the respective championship leaders taking pole position. Division 1, Ryan Smith from David Jenkins, then Stuart Oliver and Luke Taylor. Division 2, Luke Garrett from Steve Powell, Simon Cole in 3rd and Brad Smith in 4th. Race number 1 of the weekend was for the massed ranks of the Division 2 trucks. Luke Garrett leading from pole position. A packed entry meant plenty of action on circuit. And it was Luke Garrett that took the win, with Steve Powell in 2nd place, Brad Smith in 3rd. The first race for Division 1, Ryan Smith of course making no mistake from pole position. David Jenkins giving chase, Stuart Oliver in the mix as well. A bigger grid than we've seen so far this year, auguring well for the rest of the season. Ryan Smith taking the win from David Jenkins. Second race of the weekend for Division 2, and Simon Cole coming through from 4th on the scheduled grid into the lead at the first corner. Eric Forstrom is in behind, and there is Steve Powell being chased by Luke Garrett. Garrett the winner of race number 1. And all the hard work to do, of course, for Garrett coming through in this reverse grid race. The truck's coming down through the crane curves for the first time. What a great start, though, by Simon Cole. Very busy at the back. Craig Reed in the mix there in the white top, blue and red truck, with Jim Bennett in green immediately in behind. Adam Bint down towards the back at the moment in the number 5. And Binty looking to try and make progress through the field here. Brad Smith, 2nd position in the championship. Superb view of how they run along Starkey Straight up into Schwantz Curve, McLean's, where our camera is here, and you can see the uphill climb as they head towards Coppice, which is the double apex right-hander. Even more of a climb here, coming up out of McLean's into Coppice here. But still Simon Cole out front. Eric Forstrom in 2nd position in the red and yellow Sisu. And then the number 6 of John Powell currently in 3rd place, but his brother Steve putting him under lots of pressure. Looks to the outside, jinks back to the inside because he's got Luke Garrett right behind him in the silver and green 42. Into the Roberts chicane they go. Garrett exploring a slightly different line there, runs a little bit wide. You can see the lean on these trucks. They are a complete and utter handful, as you would expect them to be. Limited, remember, to 100 miles an hour. Steve Powell looks to the outside line again in the yellow HGV direct truck, trying to chase his brother down on the outside line, but John's got the measure of him there in the number 6, holds on to 3rd place at the moment, and busy chasing Eric Forstrom, still in 2nd place. Simon Cole, though, getting away. You'd be brave to bet against Simon Cole taking a win here. The Mercedes Beast, as it is known, looks to be running in fine fettle at the moment as John Powell goes up into 2nd place, runs wide, passes Eric Forstrom. Forstrom returning the favour, though, because Powell ran a little bit wide, lost momentum on the exit of the old hairpin. And here's the view from Brad Smith, who's chasing at the moment. Luke Garrett round the outside line of John Powell, so we've got a change for podium positions. Luke Garrett still leads there. Eric Forstrom second, Steve Powell third. Luke Garrett in fourth place. Running a little bit wide there is John Bowler. And John, another front runner in the championship, having his issues, but at the moment looking very good for Simon Cole. Eric Forstrom is running well. I say the Sisu, great to see it. The SFD Racing entered truck, holding a good second place at the moment. And Luke Garrett is busy chasing Steve Powell, but also behind that we've got John Powell. Steve does a little bit of straight lining on the chicane. The Dines HGV truck getting a bit tail happy there. That should mean more momentum here for Luke Garrett. Can he get up into third place? Checks the inside line, flicks to the outside. Steve Powell, how much momentum has he got as they come down into Redgate? No, they're not side by side. Garrett was keen to try and get around the outside line, but he couldn't make the move complete by the time they got to Redgate. John Powell in behind them as well. Then Brad Smith in the mix as well. The middle caliper sensor Unity 16 machine. The man from Leicestershire, so a home meeting for him. Looks like Eric Forstrom now is dropping back. Steve Powell has a moment. There's a lock up and through on the inside line goes Luke Garrett, and Powell is in the gravel. That might be a red flag. If the officials think that's in a prone position, Steve can't get it moved, that could be a red flag. But Steve Powell on lap 4 of the race finds himself the first casualty of this event, the second race of the weekend. The dust settling, Jim Bennett goes past. So John Powell back ahead now of Luke Garrett. Then we've got the 68. It's all changed, isn't it here? Craig Reed coming through. Eric Forstrom is there as well. Forstrom through past Luke Garrett. So John Powell back into second place. There was a momentary lock up there from Eric Forstrom. Craig Reed has to straight line the gravel to get through. Jams on the brakes so as not to hit Forstrom on the way out now. And coming into pit lane is John Powell. John Powell is in the pit lane and out of it. Forstrom still running well. We've got Luke Garrett still there at the moment, busy chasing him. But Forstrom looking very good value for money in this one at the minute, as Adam Bint's getting stuck in now. The bonneted number 5 of Adam Bint, the Volvo White Aerodyne, the former champion 2 years ago. Adam was champion. John Bowler and Jim Bennett. Look how much opposite locking John Bowler's getting in the 14 truck. Jim Bennett and into the pits has come. The race leader is in the pits. It's all happening here. That's Simon Cole out. Cole is out of the race. Well, it's Craig Reed, the race leader, but he's got a penalty being applied for track limit. So Reed's come through in lead position, but on the timing screen is showing further down the order. My goodness me, this race has had absolutely everything, and it's Craig Reed who's going to take the checkered flag, but subject to official confirmation, won't take the win. That will go to Luke Garrett, who's running in second place. Brad Smith is being passed here by Adam Bint, and that should be second place for Adam Bint. Brad Smith in 16 will take third. Cross the line they go. Craig Reed takes the flag, but demoted to fourth place with the time penalty. Luke Garrett the winner from Adam Bint, Brad Smith, Craig Reed and John Powell, with Eric Forstrom in 6th place.
That 12th win of the year, that's an absolutely incredible total for this time of the season, and when so many people are saying how competitive Division 2 is this year. Well done.
Yeah, it was a great race. There was so many different trucks in front of me. I didn't really know what was going on at half the race, but we got the result in the end.
And well done, second place, best result of the year. That's what we like to see from the former champion.
Yeah, definitely. That was a very difficult race, but it really proves drivers from drivers out there when, you know, keeping it on the track and safe. With them conditions, you've got to trust each other even more. But it was an excellent race. I couldn't ask for anything better.
John, you're a very warm welcome back to British Truck Racing. Good to see you back. What's brought you back?
Just to get back involved with MEN, and a lot of sponsors have jumped on board, so we've decided to build a new truck and have a go again.
You got a race coming up shortly, but how was qualifying?
Qualifying, we're good. We're still a little bit off the pace, a couple of seconds off the back of the grid, but to be honest with you, it's all about learning this weekend. And then we run the rest of the weekend, run the rest of the championship, and then hopefully we should be somewhere near on times.
Good to see John Neal back on the grid, and he starts on the outside of the front row there in the white and blue 18. To his inside, Ricky Collett Row 2, Jamie Anderson and Martin Gibson, Simon Reed and Terry Gibbon next from Shane Brereton, who's back in the championship as well, Luke Taylor, David Jenkins, Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith, the winner of race number 1, completing the grid, this reverse grid. The lights are out and the racing is underway. Great start by Ricky Collett, but then he's matched and bettered by Jamie Anderson in black from the outside of row 2. Anderson leads into Redgate. Simon Reed going around the outside as well in the white, blue and red truck, but outside means on the grass for him as well. John Newell off in the gravel, so this is going to require a little bit of control from John to get through. Ricky Collett looking a little bit sideways there as they come down through the Craner Curves for the first time, but a massive sort out on lap number 1. We've got Terry Gibbon in 37 back with us as well. Some straight lining going on from Ryan Smith, who's got, oh, and to tell you what, this is now truck rallycross, I think, going on. That was the number 11 of Martin Gibson having a little moment there on the grass as well. Luke Taylor keeping it on the tarmac, and Jamie Anderson is away and down the road here. Few are going to bet against Jamie having another win. He's really a very I make no apology if you keep saying it, a very welcome addition to the truck racing paddock, as we get a big side-by-side moment going on there. Out of Coppice they come, and this the chasing pack, if you can call them a chasing pack, because away and down the road at the moment is Jamie Anderson and the 37 MAN of Terry Gibbon, and the T-Sport Racing truck goes down the inside line. So too does Dave Jenkins up into third. A bit of straight lining there from Terry. That's not going to do him any favours. If you straight line, you do run the wrath of the bumps on the inside line. He's lost a bit of momentum, and the digraph truck of Dave Jenkins through into second place. You just saw a glimpse of black going out of shot. The race leader, Jamie Anderson. Now we're being told that Jamie Anderson has got a penalty for jumping the start. It was a very good start, and who'd want to be an official dishing out that sort of penalty? But Anderson leading on track at the moment, but 10-second penalty, that's a big one for a false start for the 23. Personally, you can't blame him for wanting to whip round the outside. I thought he read the situation well, but hey-ho. Martin Gibson just to the right of shot there in the number 11 ahead of Stuart Oliver, then Luke Taylor having a look on the outside line in the MAN. Stuart Oliver in the Volvo's got the inside line coming down into the Roberts chicane. Tell you what, those sausage curbs on the inside are taking a little bit of a pounding this weekend from the trucks. It's not doing the trucks any favours going over. But look at this superb field, a great field of Division 1 trucks this weekend, assembling for the wonderful convoy in the park here at Donington Park. And here's the battle we were looking at. Luke Taylor exploring the outside line at the moment. Oliver's got the racing line in the Kelsa GT truck going into Redgate corner. Good onboard shot here from Luke to see what he can do by taking a wider line in, possibly teeing up some momentum to come down through the Craner curves. Still busy chasing, and Oliver under a bit of pressure here. Martin Gibson is still ahead and trying to plug away in his Kelsa GT back truck as well. Got Ricky Collett in behind that group. It's still Jamie Anderson out front at the moment, but with that 10-second penalty hanging over him. So at the minute we're looking at the second place truck, which is Dave Jenkins, who's closed down on Jamie Anderson, but the 69 truck showing us the lead truck on the timing screen at the moment. But the digraph machine putting pressure on the Anderson truck now as into Coppice, and two trucks off. John Newell and Richard Collett both off. Newell was having a look up the inside line, but it didn't quite work for him. Back with the battle on track for the lead. You can see the black and white flag going out, driving standards. Now, in addition to Jamie Anderson having a penalty, there's a penalty for David Jenkins for track limits. So this is going to make things very weird looking for the spectators. Richard Collett's got out of the gravel, so he's done well there. We've got one retirement so far, which is John Newell. These two top on track. Third position, but with the penalties applied, leading the race is Ryan Smith. Ryan looking for a 16th win of the season, second win in the meeting here. But believe you me, Ryan Smith won't be interested in time penalties, whether he knows or not. If he did know, he won't be interested in the time penalty because he wants to take the checker, because for Ryan Smith, it's all about where you finish in front of the fans, not on the timing screen. As around the outside looks David Jenkins. Jenkins is much the same. He's going to race onto the flag. Anderson still out front. Jenkins piling the pressure on. He'll look in his mirrors and he'll see Ryan Smith now beginning to close him as well, past the stricken Newell truck. Shane Brereton next up. Brereton running second on the timing screens at the moment, but it's Jamie Anderson still there. Outside line here for David Jenkins. Ryan Smith's looking for it as well. Here they come down the exhibition straight into the Roberts chicane. Hard on the brakes. And look at Ryan Smith. Gets on that outside line here. He's seen. That's great driving by David Jenkins. Didn't run him off the road. Superb from Jenkins and superb from Ryan Smith going from that outside line as well. Clean and fair truck racing. And Ryan Smith now chasing the overall race leader. He's in the lead of the race on the timing screen with the penalties applied. Goes for the sweep. No, goes on the inside line. Hard on the brake so he doesn't make contact with Anderson. That is how hard Ryan Smith is trying. This is superb truck racing. Jamie Anderson still the leader and will follow it right the way to the flag. Now we've got Shane Brereton catching up with David Jenkins. Brereton, of course, has been absent from our racing in the UK. He's taken his craft out to Europe, racing in the European Championship with Ryan Smith. He's been doing well too. Shame we couldn't have hung on to him to the British Championship for another season. There is Luke Taylor on the amended times, running in 6th place. Problem there for Simon Reed by the look of it. Luke Taylor still running well. And there is Martin Gibson, 8th position at the moment on track. Actually not that far behind Jamie Anderson on the amended times with those scores that are amended. Richard Collett goes through in the 95 truck. But look at this four-way fight for the race lead. And Jamie Anderson is still there. Ryan Smith, he's got a battle-scarred truck. He's going to do what he did here to David Jenkins on the last lap. But he can't quite get as far up alongside. There isn't room for him. Has to do a little bit of straight lining over the sausage curbs. There was no way that Jamie Anderson was going to let that go. Onto the last lap. Anderson still the race leader, and now we've got David Jenkins coming back into the mix as well. Jenkins outside, a jink down to the inside as they go into Redgate. Nothing doing there because Ryan Smith has got the momentum. Smith is going to be feeling very frustrated here. He will want the checker. He'll love the win with the time penalties, but he wants the checkered flag. Here we go, Hollywood down through the Craner curves once again in towards the old hairpin. Is there going to be a gap here? No, there's not. Anderson comes across the line and grabs the apex there at the old hairpin. Run down through Starkey's now, and again Ryan Smith getting a good run along Starkey's. Ricky Collett still going. He's in 9th position, having got out of the gravel. There is Luke Taylor running in 6th place in his MAN. So this is the battle for the lead now, coming up into Coppice for the last time. Jamie Anderson still there. Ryan Smith in the Taylor's truck trying absolutely everything, but it's 4 trucks for the lead here in Division 1. This perhaps has been race of the season so far. And now Smith's looking at the inside line. He's going to have to go to the outside because Anderson's got the run covered as they come down into the chicane. Brereton coming up into the mix as well. The Tour Tanker Kelso machine on the outside. Ryan Smith can't do it. It's going to be Anderson who's going to take the checkered flag. Brereton makes it up into 3rd on track. 2nd position on the clock as they go across the line. Anderson takes the flag, but remember that penalty. Ryan Smith will take the win. He's 2nd across the line. Here's the adjusted result. Smith taking the win from Brereton and Gibbons. Stuart Oliver 4th from Dave Jenkins and Luke Taylor. Jamie Anderson down in 7th.
Some overtakes in that race were unbelievable. At one point I went up the back of Shane Brereton's truck and it snapped something on my truck, so every right hand bend I couldn't really turn into it. What a race to be involved. Of course I knew he had a penalty and I knew that Dave Jenkins had got a penalty, but you know, it didn't stop me pushing. We're here as an entertainment. It's been a fantastic day in front of all my sponsors and my family and friends.
Shane, many congratulations on the podium. A fine drive and the first time that we've seen you this year.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I've come to have some fun, enjoy it, race with everyone. It's very competitive. That was an awesome race. I got boxed on the start. Then it sort of settled down a little bit. Shame it's only 15 minutes because the truck was coming and coming.
Terry, great podium here. Great, good way to finish the first day back.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been been a hard weekend up to now, but that race was definitely worth it. It was fantastic, yeah. Off the start, we managed to pick a few places off, but then the more powerful trucks behind just managed to out-drag me on some of the straights, but we're definitely making steps all of the time, and every race meeting we find new places to find some speed, and hopefully next year with a new engine, we should be able to make a good step forward and then really push for the front.
Once again, the British Truck Racing Championship events proved to be the place to see the very best of the UK show trucks, in addition to some terrific on-track action.
Rick, maybe not the start that you wanted to the weekend. What's happening?
No, I seem to have a lot of handling issues. I can't keep it going in a straight line, apparently. We've tried some different settings on after practice to go out in the race with, but I think it made it worse, not better. We might try a tyre change later and see if that improves the handling.
Jim Bennett on pole position, and John Bowlett is outside. The lights are out. We are Division 2 truck racing. A little bit of contact there. Eric Forstrom from row 2. John Powell is in the mix as well. Brad Smith's made a good start up into second, challenging for second. Around the outside, Jim Bennett dropping back. But hats off to John Bowler. It is who leads. I'll tell you what, they're all using a little bit of not extra track, but they're all using the grass at Redgate here. Thankfully, nobody off. You saw John Powell going through on the inside line, is going to pass John Bowler. The two Johns, 1 and 2 at the moment. Powell on the inside line. Luke Garrett making progress after 2 wins so far. Adam Bint behind him. Then Jim Bennett, followed by Steve Powell. So already progress through from towards the back end of the grid. Nice to see Andrew Fulcher on track in this one as well. But Brad Smith into lead position now. Ultra consistent and fast. Brad Smith's only had 1 retirement so far this year, but has finished all of the other races and the majority on the podium. So he leads this one at the minute. But I asked you to cast your eyes back to Luke Garrett, who wants to do a Ryan Smith. We've got to stop calling it that in Division 2. He wants to do a Luke Garrett and take another win. He's made very good progress through the field. Eric Forstrom dropping back just a little bit at the moment. There is Garrett in the 42 MAN on the inside line here of John Powell, so goes through, makes up the position. John Bowler in behind them, and it's Brad Smith, Luke's main championship rival at the moment, who is the leader. Luke Garrett, if you look at his results through the course of the season, has not had a DNF. I don't want to put the mockers on him by any stretch of the imagination, but he's had plenty of wins. I think he's only finished off the podium twice. And he gets the lead going down on the inside line into Redgate. So Luke Garrett through, runs wide on the exit. Brad Smith gets the opportunity to get stuck into the race. This proves Brad Smith as a racer. Wants to get the lead back. So Garrett went wide and he tried to get him on the cutback, but it wasn't working. We've got Steve Powell in 5th place. Then Jim Bennett running well in 6th position at the moment from Eric Forstrom. And then we've got Craig Reed looking on the outside line of Paul McCumbsky. Paddy Mack having a look on the inside line of Eric Forstrom. Is going to just, I think, nip through here. So they're side by side. Reed followed by Simon Cole and then Andrew Fulcher. And off the track goes Adam Bint. Our first retirement on lap 2 of the race. Adam Bint, the former champion. Well, we've seen him on the podium once this weekend, but he's not going to repeat it in this race, and it's going to be difficult for him in the next race because, remember, non-finishers start off the back of the grid. So Jim Bennett heading this group at the moment. Jim, very popular character in British truck racing, rejoined the championship, of course, at Thruxton. The man from Bungay in Norfolk in his Seddon Atkinson leads them through. Eric Forstrom in the Sisu is next up, then Paul McCumbsky. Then it's the 68 of Craig Reed. So Forstrom and Bennett having a good dice as they come through. Then we've got Andrew Fulcher down towards the back of the field, but here is Steve Powell. Steve busy at the moment chasing John Bowler. Luke Garrett still out front. Fastest lap as well for Luke Garrett on lap 2, the first of the flying laps. Paddy Mack up ahead of Jim Bennett now, so Paddy will see as you just caught a glimpse of Adam Bint's truck parked up, the Volvo White Aerodyne parked up. So Paddy Mack trying to close down on Eric Forstrom. And then Craig Reed in the 68 is next up behind him. Onto the last lap goes Luke Garrett, a very healthy lead, virtually the length of the Tom Wheatcross straight ahead of Brad Smith here in the 16 truck in second place. Third in yellow is Steve Powell. Fourth position, his brother John, but being caught by Eric Forstrom. Forstrom in the Sisu, having a good late turn of speed. I'm not sure whether he's going to have enough momentum to close down on the number 6 to gain fourth position, but we'll wait and see. I don't know, he's getting closer. Look at that little touch on the grass there on the outside line coming down into Redgate. So Eric busy chasing hard. John Bowler is in 6th position. Steve Powell about to head possibly for a second podium of the weekend. He was a double winner at Thruxton last time out. He's got the truck well set up, but no answer at the moment to Luke Garrett. Popped in the fastest lap of the race. Steve Powell's best lap is in the 1:31s as well. A couple of tenths down on Luke Garrett, who leads. And Andrew Fulcher coming into pit lane in the Lenham truck prepared by WDE Motorsport. That's sad to see Andrew retiring from the race, not having the best of meetings, sadly. But Luke Garrett continues his march away from the field in this race and indeed in the championship standings at the moment. The MAN up front, coming into the chicane for the last time, maintains his concentration and will bag another win. 3 out of 3 here at Donington Park for Luke Garrett, who takes the checkered flag. Second position will go to Brad Smith. The gap approximately 10 seconds. Smith coming down towards the checker now. Steve Powell in yellow will complete the podium there in the number 3. That's how they finished. Eric Forstrom did make 4th place. John Powell in 5th from John Bowler and Craig Reed. Simon Cole, Paddy Mack and Jim Bennett completing the top 10. So John Newell on pole position in 18. Ricky Collett alongside then Martin Gibson and Jamie Anderson. Stuart Oliver and Luke Taylor. Simon Reed and Shane Brereton row 4. Row 5, Terry Gibbon and Ryan Smith. David Jenkins is at the back of the field. Lights out. We are racing. A good one there by Ricky Collett. Let's hope he's got the handling sorted out. Jamie Anderson makes a good start as well. He's heading on the outside line. John Newell's on the inside line. Coming through is Martin Gibson, who gets tagged. Stuart Oliver on the inside line. Gibson round and round and round he goes. Where he stops, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Well, I have. It's at Redgate. Back wheels on the grass. Should be able to get going from there. Gibson from 3rd on the grid. Not the first corner he wanted. John Newell coming under pressure here from Reedy. Simon Reed in the 89. Luke Taylor and Shane Brereton busy chasing at the moment. Through the dust storm they go. Down through the crane of curves. And it's going to have to be a recovery drive here from Martin Gibson in the number 11. But Jamie Anderson had a stonking start there. So it's Anderson, Collett. Then in 3rd place, Stuart Oliver. Here comes Anderson. Oliver on the outside line of Collett. The 2 old stages, if we can call them that, of truck racing. Gritty races, both of them. Then it's Simon Reed. Down behind in 89, currently in 4th place. Ricky Collett down to 3rd. But let's not write him off a podium yet. Now, he was talking about the handling problems. Just consider what they're going through here at the chicane. Let's have a look at Collett's truck. Looks like it's behaving himself, but maybe a little bit circumspect to get it through. Ryan Smith, who won the previous race as well, looking to maintain his form this weekend and extend the championship lead, which he's done thus far. Taylor's truck looks down the inside line here of Shane Brereton. We saw those two having good racing early on. Brereton really gaining experience over in Europe. It's Jamie Anderson out front at the moment. Stuart Oliver in 2nd place. Do you know what? I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that Ryan Smith has got an awful lot of work to do to grab another win here. This is, I think, this weekend getting more and more competitive. We've got more trucks than we've seen in Division 1 all season thus far. As through, up into a podium position goes Simon Reed past Ricky Collett. Luke Taylor's got a great view of what's going on in front. This is the box seat. We get the view behind as well, courtesy of his rear-facing camera, as Dave Jenkins winds up on the grass. Jenkins back in front of Luke Taylor with John Newell in behind, still really treating this meeting, as you heard, as a test session. It's the right way to approach it. There's nowhere really you could go and test your truck for racing. But look at this pack, because on the outside line is Brereton. We've got the number 1 Taylor's truck of Ryan Smith in the mix as well, and Ricky Collett in the 95 there at the moment. A little bit battle scarred on the inside line is Ricky Collett's 95. Brereton trying to force his way around the outside. Collett will give him a little tag, but nothing too much. Loses momentum there. Smith is through, and it looks like Dave Jenkins in the Digraph MV black truck is going to go through, and so too does Luke Taylor. Ricky Collett will be a little bit frustrated about that, but some great racing nonetheless from the Division 1 truck, still headed by Jamie Anderson. Ryan Smith just popped in the fastest lap, but has still got work to do. Simon Reed still in third, so it's Brereton fourth, then Ryan Smith from David Jenkins, and goodness me, some very quick truck drivers still together there at this stage of the race. Smith still giving chase. Brereton's having a fairly good meeting of it, had another podium in the previous race. Ryan Smith winning that one from Simon Reed, with Shane in third, Stuart Oliver in fourth. John Newell, of course, you saw starting on the front row of the group, Ricky Collett. Those two were 8th and 9th in that race. Martin Gibson finishing ahead of them. Jamie Anderson in 6th in that previous race. Collett and Taylor engaging. Things seem to have settled down a little bit for Rick Collett at the moment. Then we've got John Newell going to go through as well, but at the moment Simon Reed heading this group is in third place. The number 1 of Ryan Smith is in fourth, and Dave Jenkins looks down the inside line here of Shane Brereton. Is he going to be able to go through on the inside line? Good driving from Jenkins, judged it well, knew that perhaps he didn't have the momentum or the room to go through, and will try and remount the challenge as Stuart Oliver goes through. So it's Anderson from Oliver. John Newell being caught here by Martin Gibson. We said about Gibson after that gyration having and Luke Taylor going into pit lane just to the left of shot. We said about Martin Gibson having to stage a recovery. He has done that, and the guy really learning his truck racing this year. But this is the battle for third place now. Simon Reed against his old Division 2 sparring partner Ryan Smith for third position. Confirmation that we've got Luke Taylor in the pit lane. Hopefully he'll be able to sort it out and rejoin us either later in the race or the meeting. But Jamie Anderson here is the man in front at the moment. Stuart Oliver is in second, so it's black trucks 1 and 2, and now up into third place goes Ryan Smith. Anderson looking for his second career win. Out of the pits comes Luke Taylor, which is good news, so he'll be able to shake the truck down for the remaining race, as Jamie Anderson is, I think, being caught here by Stuart Oliver, but did a lot of the hard work in the early stages. And Anderson will add to the win he took at the Nürburgring and bag one here at Donington Park if he can hold on. It looks like he may well do that, but don't discount Stuart Oliver, don't discount Ryan Smith either. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to rip the script up, because I said that Ryan Smith wasn't going to get the win, but he's not actually that far away. Richard Collett still racing hard as well, more importantly entertaining the crowd as ever he does up and down the country. Now, looking side on, Stuart Oliver's got some space at the moment over Ryan Smith. Shane Brereton's still in fourth. We look back to the 5th position truck, which is Dave Jenkins in black, then Simon Reed, but this is the view from the race leader. Jamie Anderson on his way. This the penultimate lap of the race. Do you know what? It could still change. Up into Coppice, uphill. He just catch the first apex as he turns in. Stuart Oliver still in second position. Oliver's best lap time a 1:27.2. Anderson's best lap at the moment a 1:27.6. And Ryan Smith, fastest of them all, with a 1:26.5, and closing down on Stuart Oliver. So into Roberts for the penultimate time comes Jamie Anderson. Again, the top 4, not much to separate them. This is how truck racing works. On to the last lap, the reverse grid races, meaning that by the end, effectively, and arguably, you could have all of them in line, and they're not far away from that now. So Ryan Smith busy chasing Stuart Oliver, these two giants of British truck racing, with Jamie Anderson still out front, Shane Brereton in fourth. And can Ryan Smith close in now on Stuart Oliver? He's posting the faster laps. He's closing up as they come down through the Craner curves. Let's see if there's a gap on the inside at the old hairpin. Well, Stuart Oliver is fairly confident there. It's a confident line from Stuart. He was wide in and running a little bit wide. A rare mistake there from the defending champion. Runs a little bit wide. That will scrub off speed. We're watching Simon Reed still running in 6th position. Jamie Anderson, I think, has got enough in the tank here to take the win. number 11 machine. This has been a good recovery from Martin Gibson, and it looks like he might be able to get on terms with Rick Collett. We have got that fight on for second, and it's a three-way fight now as Stuart Oliver defends, coming down into Roberts. He didn't have to defend into the old hairpin, but he does now, and so too does the number 1 of Ryan Smith, who's coming under pressure from Shane Brereton. Across the line they go. Jamie Anderson takes his second British Truck Racing Championship win. Oliver second, Ryan Smith third, Shane Brereton in fourth. And the dynamic between third and fourth there, and indeed second place, changed in the last lap, but it was Anderson, Oliver Smith and Brereton from Dave Jenkins, Simon Reed, Martin Gibson, Ricky Collett, John Newell and Luke Taylor in 10th.
Today your second win of the season and your first on UK soil. Got to be pleased with that one.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been a good year for us. The weekend's been up and down from one thing or another. We won a race yesterday, got penalised for the start. We took it on the chin. So yeah, as a general, this race went to plan, and that's what we needed to. I'm always strong on my starts, and that's where I needed to take the advantage from.
Well, Stuart Oliver, always good to see you on the podium. They're never easy though, are they?
They're not. They're getting harder. I don't know what it is, but the boys are going well, you know. But no, it was great. It was a good race. You know, I got a good break on the start, so I managed to get through, you know, on the first lap, and then sort of chip your way up to get behind Jamie and make inroads into him. But my mirrors at the end were full of Ryan, so it was just balancing what I had to do, you know. So that was good. I enjoyed it.
Third place, extended the lead in the championship, another race finish, more consistency, and most of all, I'm here with my main sponsor, who's put a fantastic event on here at Donington.
Yeah, Alan Taylor with us here. Alan, tell us a bit more about what brings you here and why you're here supporting Ryan.
I've really got into this truck racing, and I find it fantastic working with Ryan and his family, and the old setup and concept of the racing. And the good thing is Ryan's always in front.
To be partnered with Taylor's Transport's an honour, so I think it works well for both of us.
More action from Donington Park coming up after the break. Final race of the weekend for Division 1, and pole position goes to Luke Taylor with John Newell on the outside, Martin Gibson and Ricky Collett next, Dave Jenkins and Simon Reed, Shane Brereton and Ryan Smith next up, then Stuart Oliver and previous race winner Jamie Anderson. Terry Gibbon will complete the grid as we come down to lights out here at Donington Park. What a weekend we've had so far. It's Luke Taylor that leads them in red down into Red Gate from John Newell on the outside line, but coming up on the inside is Simon Reed from row 3 up into second place. Outside line for Martin Gibson. Hold on to your hats, Martin. He's on the outside line, doesn't get tagged this time and survives turn 1. It was a good drive from him in that previous race. But it's Taylor leading from Reed. Collett in third place, fourth position. Dave Jenkins, Shane Brereton next up in the 17 from Stuart Oliver, then Jamie Anderson. So significantly here, Anderson in the opening stages, he talked about in the interview after the previous race how quick he was off the start, and he's actually got the jump here on Ryan Smith, who started ahead of him. Luke Taylor though, the race leader, clear circuit in front of him at the moment as they come through McLean's. Simon Reed still busy chasing him. The pack looking good as they continue their climb up to this point, which is Coppice Corner. Brereton on the inside line of Ricky Collett. That's going to leave the door open for the others to maybe filter through. But it's Taylor still out front, Reed second. Dave Jenkins now in a consolidated third position. We said the door was open. Collett now, in addition to Brereton going past, we've got Stuart Oliver, Jamie Anderson, very possibly Terry Gibbon will try and come through on the inside line as well in the 37. But Collett there actually going over the curbs to make sure he doesn't make any contact, goes to the outside line. Anderson uses a little bit more of the exit road, as it were, out of the chicane, and it's still Taylor in front at the moment. Luke Taylor, it'd be good if he could bag a win here. We've got a long way to go in this, our final race of the weekend. Through Redgate they go. Ryan Smith has got a heck of a lot of work to do here, but as we've pointed out in this meeting, there are more trucks for him to contend with, and that's what he was wanting earlier on in the season. Stuart Oliver up ahead of Jamie Anderson. So this is coming into the old hairpin. Shane Brereton immediately in front of them. Rick Collett now coming under pressure from Ryan Smith, who's going to look up the inside line. Then Terry Gibbon, followed by Martin Gibson, Warwickshire-based driver. And very much now a three-way battle for lead position. At the moment, though, we're focused on the fight for second because it looked like Dave Jenkins was trying to nibble his way up the inside line of Simon Reed. Shane Brereton closing in on them as well. Down the exhibition straight we go again. And it is still Luke Taylor out front, holding his lead well here. Simon Reed has left a little bit of a gap there. If there's momentum from Jenkins, he might be able to get into second place. He has got that momentum, and the Digraph truck slots through very neatly. Great move, good racing from the pair of them. Jenkins, of course, a former champion as well, up into second place. We look back, look how the rear-facing camera accentuates the gap between the race leader and second position Dave Jenkins as they come past the pit exit into Redgate once again. Simon Reed coming under pressure from Shane Brereton. The Reed brothers, of course. Simon racing in Division 1. His brother Craig, a debut year in Division 2. Both very quick drivers. And Reed in that podium position at the moment in the white top, blue stripe and red based Sherwood based truck. Morris Lubricants across the front, as it is on Dave Jenkins' truck. The Kelsa fronted truck of Shane Brereton in behind. Rick Collins lost out now to Terry Gibbon, coming under pressure from Martin Gibson, who managed to get past Rick on that previous race as well. Here is Luke Taylor, though, the race leader, and you can see Jenkins a little bit closer in that rear-facing camera to the bottom left of your screen. He's all over the back of him. That's how close he is. Didn't look that close at all in the camera, but goodness me, the battle is very much on for the lead here of our final race of the weekend. Dave Jenkins looking to try and grab a win. He's got the inside line. This is very determined stuff from Jenkins. He's going to have the line here. I think he'll have the pace as well. Down into the Roberts chicane. They'll go right, then they'll go left again to get them back onto the main straight. Jenkins through into the lead very neatly. Taylor down to second. Shane Brereton third. Ryan Smith coming up as well. Now, in the early stages, I was saying Ryan had so much work to do, but he's the fourth truck in effectively what is a line of 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Luke Taylor having a look on the inside line, but here comes Ryan Smith down the inside line here, side by side with Shane Brereton. Into Redgate they go. Brereton runs a little bit wide, a little bit of a nudge there from Ryan Smith, who squeezes him just a tad. And they are third and fourth. Simon Reed in fifth place then. It's Stuart Oliver in the bonneted number 7, adding a superb piece of variety, the bonneted truck, you've got to say. Out of the old hairpin. Brereton looking a little bit tail happy there. Simon Reed will look at his mirrors and see GT Kelsa. Oh, and Rick Collett into pit lane. Hard lines to Ricky. Not his meeting, but he's royally entertained us throughout the course of the meeting, as ever he does. The truck not looking happy, but hopefully will be sorted out in time for our Snetterton meeting next time out, one of the MSV circuits, as indeed Donington Park is, of course. But a very long, gruelling lap at Snetterton. And if the heat doesn't abate, I'll tell you what, there are going to be some very hot, sweaty and tired drivers by the end of that meeting. But back to the business in hand here. It's still Dave Jenkins out front. Ryan Smith challenging Luke Taylor for second position. It's a wide line at the moment. Taylor being chased by the Taylor's truck, and down the inside comes Ryan Smith. Offline very late, down the inside line. Perfectly timed manoeuvre there from Ryan Smith, but Luke Taylor losing momentum, and he's going to be swamped here by Brereton and Reed, who want to come through. It's 3-1 as they go along the Wheatcross straight. Reed goes in front of them. Read that situation well, but Brereton's looking on the inside line as well. Stuart Oliver coming up in the mix. Jamie Anderson is there too. Anderson will be the next one to go through, but Oliver goes up ahead of Luke Taylor. There is Jamie Anderson getting in the mix as well in the 23. As Andy said in the interview, first win on British soil for Jamie Anderson. And it's going to be the first of many, I feel sure. He's the chaser at the back of that quintet of trucks in shot now, headed by Simon Reed. It's Shane Brereton right behind him. It's still Dave Jenkins out front, and this again the view from Luke Taylor. Comes along Starkey Straight, goes up into Schwantz Curve, now into McLean's. Wide line here from Reed. That leaves the door open for Stuart Oliver to just pop his nose through on the inside line and make the position. Dave Jenkins still the race leader here. Ryan Smith once again has the fastest lap of the race and is closing down. But is he going to have enough time? It's Jenkins still there looking for his first win of the meeting in the 69. Hasn't won, I don't think, since Pembrey, which is most unusual for Jenkins, but he has been scoring consistently as ever. Rarely far away from the podium, if not on it. So on to the last lap. Stuart Oliver and Simon Reed having a good race. Luke Taylor still in with them as well. Reed's having a little bit of a run down the outside line in the Iveco. Is he going to be able to make the position up as they come down into Redgate? It's the harder work on the outside line, and Stuart Oliver will know that. So Oliver in the Volvo holds position, but super racing from Simon Reed, just keeping him honest as Dave Jenkins continues to lead this one from Ryan Smith, who had the fastest lap on the previous tour, 126.3. Dave Jenkins' best lap, lap 8, 126.7. What a scrap we've got on here. For fourth position, headed by Stuart Oliver. Anderson now on the inside line of Luke Taylor. Terry Gibbon trying to close in, which he might do because Taylor has an excursion on the dirt. Let's just watch either side. No, the rear camera tells us that Terry Gibbon's still behind him, but he did close up given that little loss of momentum from the 79 Rooster Racing truck, King Klaus as it is known. But these are the first two drivers. Dave Jenkins still in front. Ryan Smith hunting him down, but surely he's not going to get past. They're already up to the exhibition centre, coming into the Robert chicane. It looks like it's going to be a win for Dave Jenkins, very neatly and tidily through the chicane. Ryan Smith will make it 100% podium this weekend, but it's a win for Dave Jenkins. There's the checker, there's the win. Jenkins wins in his Digraph MAN. Ryan Smith second. Shane Brereton will take third position. The fighting behind goes on. Terry Gibbon now up ahead of Luke Taylor. Across the line, there you go. It was Jenkins from Smith. Shane Brereton completing the podium, just about to head out of shot. Stuart Oliver taking fourth place up ahead of Simon Reed. Here's confirmation of that top five. Jamie Anderson in sixth from Terry Gibbon and Luke Taylor. Martin Gibson ninth from John Newell. Ricky Collett sadly not finishing. Fastest lap to championship leader Ryan Smith.
Well, Dave Jenkins, always great to see you on top step of the podium. A popular winner as well by the sound of it. The crowd here really getting behind you. That must make you make it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it's immensely proud to win here at Donington in front of my fans and family. I meant to say, not fans. Yeah, family and sponsors. And team, obviously. It's amazing.
I think you've got a fair few fans out there, though. I think a lot of people admire your attacking driving style. You never give in, do you?
No, there was a lot of support from around the circuit. You know, it was really nice on the slowdown lap. There was a lot of support out there. So, no, that was a great race. My team have worked hard. They've stood behind me despite my mistakes on occasion this weekend. Although Ryan was attacking hard at the end, we were able to make use of a decent starting slot and get out of there.
We need 3 more minutes in each race, and I think I can do it. We just got boxed in a little bit on the start again, and some great overtakes, some great racing, and a fantastic way to end. We've had 3 wins. We've had a second and we've had a third, so delighted. What a turnout here at Donington. It's been fantastic. And again, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Taylor's Transport, and a huge thank you to PTI behind the scenes and Steve Thomas and Julie Thomas for again being with us all weekend. So we've had a fantastic weekend. Looking forward to the next event, bigger and better next year. So here we go.
We've got the chairman of the Ryan Smith fan club here. Do you think he did a good job today?
Yeah.
You proud of him?
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well done, Ryan, and good luck for next time out.
Thank you very much.
Ryan Smith now 3 full races in front of Dave Jenkins. Jamie Anderson is third. Stuart Oliver in fourth ahead of Simon Reed, and Luke Taylor completing the top 6. In Division 2, Luke Garrett leads by the same amount. Brad Smith in second place. John and Steve Powell third and fourth ahead of John Bowler and Craig Reed.
Well, that concludes our racing action here from the convoy in the park. What an event it's been once again. Loads of impressive show trucks, trade stands, fun fairs, live music, you name it, we've had it. Most importantly, of course, great racing. And we'll have more of that for you next time we're out. That's at Snetterton in a few weeks' time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.